Facebook Live, as promised, is here on marriage and relationships. And I know it was a much awaited topic because a lot of people reached out when I didn't go live and they were checking if I had gone live. There was some technical glitch for sure, which didn't allow me to do the live that day in spite of clicking the live button. So what are we going to discuss today? Because in the last few days, I have got like around 29 questions from different people about this very important topic of marriage and relationship. So we'll do it like question wise, as well as also try to go with the flow of topics and keep the order of the topics in mind as well. When we talk about marriage, and when we talk about relationships in today's world, one of the things that really bother me as someone who is trying to build a better future and a better India is this, that it's in a mess. It's in a very it's a lot of chaos around relationships and marriage, because on one hand, one generation that is there thinks about marriage in a different way, which is the older generation maybe. And then there are, like, let's say, the younger generations which have a lot of confusing ideas about relationships, wherein they don't understand whether they want to be dependent, independent, choose career, choose family. There's so much of a chaos and a confusion around this very important topic of marriage. And more than that, what got me curious about this topic of marriage is the serials, the entertainment industry. I have seen more and more serials focusing on romance and relationships and marriage in the mid-age crisis. Or like one of the most popular serials is Anupama. I don't know how many of you know about it or see it. I like to be engaged and involved with what the younger generations do, as well as what the older ones do. And when I look at Anupama, the story, and I think about everything that that lady has gone through, maybe that's not exactly the level to which all women will go through, or not everything happens. Like, for example, Anuj Kapadia or Vanraj Shah, these are very different characters, but to a great extent, if I think about it, they reflect the society that we live in today, to a great extent. I mean, I have started following that serial very closely now to understand that. On the other hand, I watch stuff like Bridgerton, or what Netflix has, catering to a more younger crowd. So what I've understood is some insights that I have. Plus, I've done counseling of in divorce cases or marriage and conflicts and all in relationships. I've also done it for children when they undergo trauma as a result of a turbulent marriage. So, I mean, keeping all of that in mind and having like an insight, I want to share some broader things that I think a lot of people have been asking. So one of the things, that is undergoing crisis is the whole idea of empowerment, because women empowerment is going at one pace, but we're not really sure at what pace is the men empowerment going. Because no matter how strong, capable, independent women are becoming, it is very sad to see that men, after being successful, also are not able to come up to the mark that women are setting. Women may not look professionally or economically that successful at the upfront, but at the end of the day, whatever women are doing, men are becoming successful, rising, in the list of billionaires and millionaires and things like that. But at the end of the day, the emotional side of men is taking a huge hit, which is why, women are becoming more expressive. They are becoming more confident. They are becoming more verbal in a relationship, in marriage. But sometimes, and many times, in fact, I would say, they don't receive that kind of a emotional or a physical or a spiritual kind of a connection with their spouse, which makes me sad. Because women are trying so hard. At one time it was all about women not being there, but now women are there. But then what about men? Where are they? They are in a relationship, they are in a marriage, but we don't know, like, to what extent is that really working out. Because being successful is one thing, but it's very sad when, as a mother, a successful woman who's managing home and personal responsibilities so well, and not having the male counterpart to look into things. It could be because of work, it could be because of like societal commitments. And many times, the way I see the trends in men in marriage especially, I feel very sad to share this, that I see this whole trend of men emotionally escaping from a relationship, because deep inside, whatever traumas that have piled up inside them, they're not able to take it out, they're not able to express it to anyone, they're not able to trust. The whole confusion about mother, like mother is important or wife is important. Many a times, like choice of marriage, choice of spouse, whether they got that choice or not. Many times, years later, when the older generation sees that, okay, the younger one has more choice in marriage than we did, it comes back to them, those traumas, and they feel, I wish I could have done this, I wish I did this, I could have made choices differently. So even on the exterior, when everything looks cool and great and fine and lovely, deep inside there could be a huge, like, problem that's brewing. And one realization that I had was about the concept of love language. So when I was working with the US, one of the companies in US, and we had this test called love language test, which we had to take as as a team, to understand how I function during recruiting. This is something my ex-boss, Steve Cantor, he did it. So I really liked that. That was the first time I got introduced to the idea of love language. Now, if I bring that context to marriage today, many a times, when I hear couples talking about it, or even parent-child relationship, where they say that I do this much for my husband, but he doesn't do even this much. Or the husband says that, I do, like, I do what I can, I do this, but my wife never seems to be happy with what I do. Now, what happens here is something we need to understand. When it comes to the concept of this particular test that I told, which is also a book, and you can take the test yourself by, searching on Google love language test. There is a book on it as well. What I realize is, most of the time as humans, when, supposing if I'm a mother, I'm saying, beta, I do so much for you, but you don't even do this much. The thing is, we're talking in the language which is our strength. I do so much for you because I'm good at it, or I don't like to do this, but I compromise my time. So what I'm trying to say is, how we compare what we do and express our love in what kind of a language needs to be clearly defined. Many times, as men or women, we don't even know what is our own love language, and we expect our spouse to give that to us. For example, let's say, as a wife, you like particular words being expressed to you, whereas your husband is more of a person who will give you gifts. You yourself sometimes you don't know whether which is your love language and what do you want. The problem in a marriage arises when the person who's the other person becomes very important, whether it is immediately after marriage you're focusing only on the romance angle, or just the the physical aspect of it, or just physical responsibility aspect of it, whereas you lose touch with your soul and your mind. That is where the problem starts increasing, even if everything else looks okay. The trouble starts when you are disconnected at the core of it all. So what is the solution to this? What are we talking about? So when we deal with our spouse, we need to understand that true love is when you can actually express in the language of the other person. Sometimes that may not be your strength. Supposing you're a wife who's an extrovert, your husband may not necessarily be an extrovert, but the kind of a connection you build, the kind of emotional safety that you create for each other to express, that determines how much the other person will try to go to meet that love language requirement that you have, which the other person doesn't have. When we say, this person is not doing enough for me, or I am doing so much for that person, but are you doing so much for that person in that person's love language? A person may not like to be expressed in, like, supposing if as a wife, the strength is, your strength is to be able to say something and express your gratitude and appreciation and all that in words, whereas your husband might not like it. Your husband might be more of a, say, like, seeks that appreciation from touch, or let's say gifts, or say small actions that you do for him. What is important to understand is, your own love language. Because when we are clear about who we are, It's easier to love ourselves more. And when you love yourself more, you do the right thing for yourself. Very sadly, that concept is now getting manipulated in so many places where people think self love is quit a relationship, take a divorce because I'm not happy in this. That is also an extreme, to be honest. Independence, okay, looks powerful, looks strong, but at the end of the day, the real strength lies not in existing alone, but to exist in a family structure. Many people avoid tension and struggle, which is why they'll go for a nuclear family over a joint family. In many cases, they prefer separation. If it is happening with peace, that's great. But if it is not happening in that way, then there's nothing you can do to just ensure that peace will come all of a sudden. Family means more people. More people means more brains, more logic, more feelings. And it is not easy to navigate through all that. Totally agree. But what is important to understand here at the core is you have to make a very conscious choice. And I like to compare marriage with entrepreneurship a lot because I feel that it's very similar also. When we talk about the in-laws relationship, when we say that, okay, a daughter-in-law is going to a new house, so, the family should adjust because they are more in number. That's the common logic, right? And of course, to some extent that does make sense also. But what is important to understand is compare it to entrepreneurship. If you're joining a new company and that company is absolutely new, but that is your dream company, what would you do? Would you expect everyone to cooperate with you, or are you going to work harder to create your own identity and impression and try your best to set a mark over there? Who is going to do more compromise? You, not the other person or other people who are majority, right? I mean, to me, that's how it comes. That's how I process all this, that I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, when it comes to a company and we process it this way, that I'm the new person in the company, so I need to, be empowered enough and confident enough and have the self-esteem to be able to navigate through so many different complex issues and situations which have so many people. I think at the end of the day, that's how we need to even coolly, calmly navigate through the marriage situation as well. Where instead of thinking, okay, I'm a girl and I need to have all that pity on me, great, have love, kind, compassion, all that is good. But again, when we talk about women empowerment, we also need to understand that we are empowered enough to be able to look at this scenario differently. And when we start assuming that, okay, we can make it work, we can create our identity, we'll be the ones to first impress our seniors. We do that in the companies, right? When we don't know people, you want to meet those people, you want to learn about those people. No matter how much you don't like something, you will want to hear it because it's for your growth, progress. But when it comes to the personal front, we take it totally on another tangent and we kind of create a whole halla out of it. Also, if you think about it, when we talk about, again, marriage, in this case about in-laws, we expect that, okay, nobody will tell me anything. Not my husband, not my in-laws. They can't tell me anything. But the same thing, if the mother or the father is telling in the house, boy or girl, they will take it like, okay, it's my parents. And it might hurt, but we'll not put it out like that. If the mother says, okay, go, beta, go and do this, we'll be like, okay, घर का ही तो काम है. Moment the mother-in-law will say, they'll be like, सिर्फ काम करवाती रहती है. See, to be honest, yes, let's say there are worst case scenarios, there are bad examples, which is why we are assuming the way we are assuming. But at the end of the day, the narrative doesn't shift if we keep brooding on that. If nobody changes the reality, if everybody feels sorry for themselves, who's going to change the scenario? Right? That is one thing. Second, investment. Again, money and business comes in here. When we talk about investment, many times we seek love, affection, care, and a lot of things from our spouse. Our husband expects it from the wife. Wife expects it from the husband. It's not bad to have expectations. It's not a bad thing to say that, okay, I want love, or I want appreciation, or do this for me. This is how I want to be loved. But how will that come? How will that confidence come to the man or the woman? Not just by saying and being bold and shouting and, making your, strong presence felt. That's not how this works. You can only express in the right way completely yourself and without any kind of a fear or prejudice or fear of judgment when you create that safe emotional space for the other person. Let me be honest, many times in marriages these days I see men emotionally withdrawing. You know why? Because they think there's no point getting into an argument with a woman. Because दो चीज होगा, they will either be asked कि आप भी घर का काम करिए अगर आपको इस सब चीज में डिसीजन लेना है तो. To be honest, men today, most of them, are not trained to get into a family system so smoothly. फैमिली के साथ सिर्फ फादर्स डे या पिक्चर लेके या बच्चे के साथ बच्चे का पोस्ट डाल के तारीफ करके फादरहुड इज नॉट एक्सप्रेस्ड. मदरहुड विल not express all this through posts and pictures, but it is still there. What we need to understand firstly as women is men are not emotionally ready for relationships most of the time. It becomes easier for them to get into a physical relationship. It's easy for them to just give and just have a listener for them. But most men struggle to be the listener for their wife. I know many jokes will be cracked in the sense that, okay, who says men don't listen? They keep listening. But that's not a healthy listening. That's not like a healed listening. That's not a positive listening. It's just for the sake of it. Sun lo aur option hi kya hai? That sort. So as women, we need to understand that we have to literally, we are capable. First of all, we need to understand that we are capable of doing all this. Much more than we realize our own strengths. No matter what society puts on us, just like there's patriarchy, there is matriarchy. Nobody talks of it that way is another story. But it's there. So we need to be very practical when we think about it. Now here I will slowly start breaking down the concept into people who are not married, going to get married or want to get married, or confused about getting married, versus people who are already married, into marriage for like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever that period is. I will start giving examples with both aspects, now going forward like this from here. So, when we talk of people who are not yet married and you want a healthy, happy relationship, one of the most important factors here to understand is yourself. The more you understand yourself in the right way, including the negative qualities, including the unhealed parts, the wounded parts, and wound and healed and trauma and all these don't mean you're bruised inside and people have been terrible on you and you've got mental pressure and mental health issues. Those can be at any level. That there are levels for this also. So we cannot say that there's only one type and I have gone through the worst case scenario or I will never talk about it. The important thing here is to accept. Sometimes the way we are born, we see so much around us that all that gets loaded here is all trash, is all toxic. And therefore, the more we see of others, things happening with them, things going wrong, we start realizing that something major is going wrong. And if something major is going wrong, we need to fix it. But what happens is, most of the time we feel, okay, no, I am good enough. I will wear, if supposing I have a pimple, I'm just going to apply something here. If I have dark circles, I'll apply something here and it'll be hidden. We've got into that mindset somehow. I'm not against makeup. I'm not at all against makeup. Nails, talk of nails. People want to keep putting fake nails because they're not happy with their own. I'm pretty happy with mine. I got this idea, when people commented on my Instagram and like many friends, they're telling me, all my like school friends or college friends, and they're all like, all girls who are into makeup or kind of not into makeup, but they made a very good comment that your hands look so nice in the mehendi. I said, it's not about that. I don't even care. Bole, that is such a relatable hand. So I'm like, because everybody has fake nails. I said the point is, we have conditioned ourselves not to be ourselves. Whether it is makeup, whether it is our hair, whether it is our body, anything. What we can't carry off, we'll carry off because we want to show we can do it. And therefore, that psychology has come into relationships. That's one. Second, even if you see entrepreneurship, the exit strategy, acquisition strategy, these are all very sometimes toxic strategies that I feel, because it doesn't let people exist peacefully. It's like the British policy. I mean, I will colonize everything. I don't want anything to exist alone. That is where the problem lies, when you don't want things to exist independently, where you want to control. On the other hand, we talk about independence. And in the same era, in the same world, we talk about it. So it's very conflicting. When we are not aligned, everything else falls apart. Or when we talk about exit strategy, people start thinking they will exit something. Isn't that how even marriages are becoming these days? They think, okay, I'm going to be happy or in a relationship or a marriage for this time with this person. Things don't work out, I'll move on. I need to give myself the space. That way, the way we are conditioning ourselves through different ways and through different other existing models that are existing in the world is crushing our own personal life, is taking away our peace. There are so many people I know who'd say that, yes, I want a marriage, I want a relationship, but on the face, and their ego will not allow them to accept that they want one. They'd rather be happy boasting and fooling around and saying that, okay, I'm happy with this, or making a mess of their life, thinking that they don't need someone, therefore they'll not have them. Or talking about companionship, so many people are asking about this. So many of my friends who are my age, people talking about it, that, I don't know if I'm ready for marriage. Or a person like mine exists that I'll be able to marry somebody who I would want to marry. Again, the problem is we are searching for people outside. That is why we don't attract, according to the law of attraction, even we don't attract the right people. Because I realize, somewhere deep down, we also have set our own preconceived notions and beliefs that this is how it is supposed to be. Therefore, if I don't see this in front of me, it's not that. That is what prevents us from even opening up our heart to God to accept what He sends. So it is very important for humans, for us to realize that unless we check off that list of what we want and truly think about what we need and what God wants for us, this whole spiritual damage that we've done to our souls and to the world, there is no God. I am alone. I will only do this. If there is a God, why does He let me do this? God doesn't need you. You need God at the end of the day. And if you crush every authority, the biggest authority is God. Trust me. Nobody can fix a bad marriage. Nobody can fix a toxic relationship. Nobody can fix you. Only when you surrender to God, because there are so many unseeable, unpredictable circumstances that you will never be able to pinpoint on your own, because you don't know the past, present and future. No matter how smart and powerful we get as humans, we can't get to that level where we can, say that, okay, I am able to see like God does it. You can't. Which is why, when we talk of a marriage, and this is something, I picked up from very interesting sources. I was watching Elevation Church videos in which I remember Pastor Stephen Furtick and Pastor Michael Todd. If you all can check out, do check out. Even though, because I'm from a missionary background, I've studied in Loreto, I feel that, I've had a very nice touch with the way the godly marriage concept works in Christianity, how they talk about it, how there are so many influencers writing about it. One influencer that you definitely need to look at is Lauren Cren on Instagram. He's not very active on Facebook. I checked out that day. I didn't see any of his latest posts, but do check out Instagram, where he has Lauren, Lorin, I think, Krenn. He writes mind-blowing stuff on masculinity and femininity. I mean, it is awesome. Divine masculine, divine feminine, these are all issues that sometimes within the same community or culture, things are debatable. But the point here is how he explains the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine, and how childhood traumas and wounds have an effect on how a person grows up and gets into a relationship, and how they carry on and project it to their spouse. I'll give you an example. Think about it, if you have a child now and how you deal with that child, deep down you'll see two influences. One influence is that of your parents on you, and second, your relationship with your husband. You will see, and if you're a husband, then your relationship with your wife. You will see deep down, whatever mess that is there between the parent and the child relationship and the husband-wife relationship, it gets projected into the child. And then the child grows up having those traumas about relationships and doesn't know how to get into a relationship and stay in a marriage healthy way. We're in a huge crisis. And this is not to say that, okay, there is no hope. But I realize this because of something called this concept of collective consciousness. We don't need power couples. We don't need them first anymore. We need couples who are healers. We need couples who believe in, you know, collective consciousness and healing the world and the universe and the earth through their individual healing, as well as coming together and not allowing their wounds and traumas to be projected onto each other, and then protecting the other person. See, the problem is today protection as, you know, as, so let's say if I'm a strong woman, I'd be like, no, I am strong enough to I'm capable enough to take care of myself. I don't need a man to protect me. A man feels, okay, I don't need a relationship. I'm strong enough. I can be a one-man army. You know, I mean, these are things that we hear from the younger generations, and even people, you know, as they get older, they're like, okay, so what if I'm married? You know, I can handle myself. I don't need this relationship anymore because I don't feel I'm growing in it or I'm healthy in it. I'll just do it for my children, for example. Because I talk to all kinds of scenarios. I mean, I will share towards the end of it like what this is actually leading to and why I came up with this Facebook live, because of the kind of queries I get. I stopped counseling, especially related to divorce or marriage, for the last like 9 months or so, because I realized that, you know, I needed to take in more research to be able to head towards solution, to understand how this collective consciousness thing works. Like, in the big picture, there's so much more happening. We don't just exist. You know, when we say, okay, I'm one person and I'm enough, and what will I do if I heal myself, or if as a couple, if we heal ourselves, how is that going to result in the big picture of marriage and relationships getting healed? It does. It does. Because the power of individual affecting the collective is something I realized in my own journey. Because when I started my journey and I was 23, I still remember all the traumas and societal traumas and the beliefs, the toxic ideas that people had about women and their education and their work and things like that was so crazy. They still are. But what I'm trying to say is that what happened to me, then I realized that whatever people are telling me and making me want to believe that is not something that's going to work in the future for future generations. It's not going to solve the bigger problem for the earth and for the human race. So what do? I took ownership of all of that on myself, and I said, I just need to heal myself. If I heal myself from all the toxic beliefs and ideas and theories that people have, and the preconceived notions that people have about different kinds of domains and fields, personal or professional, I know I can influence the bigger picture, the collective consciousness of the world at large, and that vibe is going to, you know, be more powerful than anything else, and you know, turn over the picture and be more powerful. The inner world is going to be more powerful to affect the outer world and bring the change outside. So here, the most important part, whether you're married or not married, wanting to get married, whatever the scenario is, focus on self-investment. Self-love and self-care is not just pampering yourself physically and feeling happy about it being clean and tidy and beautiful and fashionable, or branded out in a, it's more about, you know, investing in yourself and understanding who you are. How did I realize this? I'll give you all some examples. Ever since the COVID scenario started, I felt sick more than ever before. And I wasn't sure what was that. I used to think I've got COVID, and I used to literally, at times, I'm being honest, cry about it, because I was like, I've got COVID, I've got COVID. We were like, I'm going to die. You know, that's how terrible it got. And then every time I was like, no, I can't have COVID. I have to do so much work. How will I get better? Literally, there were days when I had to kind of reschedule classes and just sleep, because I was just not able to understand what was happening to me. At that time, just when COVID started, I realized I was getting very, like, my consciousness was developing. I was becoming more and more awakened to the big problems that were happening as a result of the COVID hitting the world, things going, you know, like total shut, and then you have to be with yourself. How to be with yourself is something I learned during the whole COVID period. I never knew my own company could be so enjoyable to me. I never knew that I could peacefully, silently sit with people around me and not feel negative about them. Many times, imagine, you know, when you are in a family, or as a daughter or son, or even as a couple and parents and children and grandparents sitting together, silence is very awkward. I mean, people just can't accept, you know, they'll either get into a phone or they'll do something or the other to distract, because they just can't be with themselves, and then that's why they can't be with someone else. Also, the whole concept of, you know, like, you know, I want people around me all the time so that I don't feel sad and depressed. very, very toxic if that is the idea behind having people around. I love people around. I'm a total people's person. I mean, put me with a lot of people and I'll be very happy and excited to, do something or the other with it. I won't be afraid. And at one point, I was like someone who was so scared of people. But what I'm trying to say is that even then, the reason if you have a lot of people around or friends around and you're hanging out is because you want to not feel alone and not feel sad and not feel depressed, and that's a very toxic belief to have and a very toxic habit. Because at the end of the day, you'll never know who you are. You won't know yourself. You'll always run away from yourself because there's someone else to kind of make you feel better, and you will want to, fake more because it makes you happier and those other people are giving you validation. One way I could figure this out for myself was because when I was in college, I still remember, and even at school, I was never so happy about friendships. Like I'm not that sort of a person who's like friends and yaar and dost. I was never like that. But I believed in friendship where no matter what the time gap, I could reconnect with people. I mean, those are the kind of friends I have, where I can reconnect at any point, no matter how big that gap, I will reconnect. Or at times with some people, I get along very well even if I've not met them before. It's just that I go selective on my soul or on my mind because I know I don't want to take on additional baggage of, like stress and fakeness and manipulation, which I can project on others. It's not just that people will be manipulative and, fake towards me. I could be the same. I could be manipulative towards people. I could harm people. I could do wrong things. So it's best to balance it out. I like socializing, I like social life, but I also know how to balance it out with not sometimes choosing to go out and do certain things, because I know I need to learn how to kind of also take myself and my company into consideration over always, prioritizing others and others making me feel good about it. There is no harm. See, normal people, there is no harm. But if you want to do something extraordinary in life, you have to train your brain, you have to train your body, you have to train your mind to be able to get into situations which makes you uncomfortable. And that is where the growth lies, that is where the sudden spurt will lie, and that is where your biggest change and impact is going to be. Next, talking about balance of energy. Men are at times scared to be emotional because they think they're supposed to be strong and not vulnerable. Same way women today are also becoming same. Deep down there is a desire that okay, both genders, male and female, man and woman want that I want to be vulnerable. But they are scared because they are like, other person will hurt me. Even in a marriage, after 20, 30 years, people are still wondering and having that same question. That if I open up myself, I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to suffer. Nothing will work out. What will work out? After all these years, nothing worked out. We give up hope. And to be very honest, when I see these examples of marriages which are happening and they look so beautiful and romantic in the beginning but later dizzle out and people separate, especially all this celebrity culture, compatibility has many more meanings. The more, I see all this, the more I deal with people, I realize there's so much more to everything. I mean, it's just that we don't give things thought. We just like to take it as it is, or take, Google search information and put it out and talk to people about it. Sometimes I'm alone, I'm just looking at the sky and I'm looking at two birds or two animals and I'm making so many observations about humanity with that. When I go horse riding, I think about horses and I'm like total full of thought and reflection and whatnot. So what is happening is that men and women both want that the other one becomes vulnerable. But nobody wants to be vulnerable themselves. It could be a prior experience, a bad experience of their own with somebody, things didn't work out. It could be that they have seen a very close relative or family or adult going through something, therefore they feel it's not going to work out. The typical beliefs, many times I'll tell you, I have stopped watching too much of news. I have my controlled dose and exposure to news, because what I've realized is, when you're exposed to too much of current affairs and news and news and news, you kind of start living in that reality all of a sudden. You start perceiving those things coming to you even if they don't. When we read constantly about others, this, even if it doesn't happen, we start thinking, मेरे साथ भी ऐसा होता ही होगा, मेरे साथ भी ये इंसान ऐसा बोला मतलब मेरे साथ यही किया होगा. We start becoming shakky, we becoming like like, doubting everything and everyone. So it's very important that when we are exposed to the digital world also, and we read newspaper maybe, या न्यूज चैनल भी अगर देखें, be very careful of how long your exposure is to all the new information overload that happens. If you keep bombarding yourself with same kind of things which excite you and interest you but doesn't balance out the belief, it's going to create a problem for you. You know how I do it? When I watch Netflix or when I watch serials or when I watch movies, supposing on a particular day I watch something which had a particular idea, few days later or the very next day I'll try to watch something to balance out that belief. Very, very, like, mindfully I do that. I make my brain think like that. Supposing same serial, yesterday and today's episode is somewhat like this, which makes me believe on a certain angle, I'll immediately try to look for something with search words or something or the other that'll make me look at something totally opposite to mentally neutralize it. Because I know I'm a human being at the end of the day. Psychologically, I may not be able to process and, categorize information and say, okay, balance it. Internally, nobody is so powerful enough to be able to do it so easily internally. It has to be consciously done. It has to be done knowing that these things can go wrong, and that is where self-love and self-preservation actually lies. Many times, as we grow older, we are like 15 years, 12 years, 10 years into a marriage or 20, 30 years into a marriage, we start thinking, okay, अब रात को तो अपना रूटीन इसका है, मेरा है, हम लोग साथ क्या करेंगे, like at the most ये करेंगे या वो करेंगे, like, but there is no definite plan and there's no excitement in marriage simply because we think, okay, सब तो अब like towards the ending आ रहे हैं. Many times when people say कि शादी के पहले या शादी के टाइम पे तो तुम ऐसी थी, अब ऐसी हो गई, आप ऐसे थे, अब वैसे हो गए. कोई कभी सेम रह ही नहीं सकता. इट इज ह्यूमनली नॉट पॉसिबल कि एक्सपेक्टेशन रखना कि पहले कोई ऐसा है अभी भी वैसा ही रहेगा. You have to evolve yourself every decade or every phase of life. Many people immediately after marriage, they don't even think about building a relationship with their own spouse and their own in-laws. They are just like, okay, checklist, this, done. Problem is, if fatherhood comes very soon without you getting to know your spouse, it's going to create more damage than good at the end of the day. It doesn't mean you don't have a baby. It means you have a baby. But you also focus on first getting to know your own spouse, understanding your own spouse, his or her important needs, having the need to sit down and have a conversation and talk about it. Because unless you know your spouse, whatever you will create together, whoever you will create together, what are you going to understand about that person? फिर one-sided ही parenting होगा ना. Because mind का तो, it's not like you'll always end up, thinking कि like many times this has happened. People are already married and now they're thinking मेरे compatibility नहीं है इससे. कोई भी criteria पे, कोई भी compatibility का कोई भी angle हो सकता है. But the thing is, again think about entrepreneurship. अगर एक कंपनी होता, 2 जन डायरेक्टर होते तो एक दूसरे को फायर थोड़ी ना होता है ऐसे ही. यू हैव टू मेक इट वर्क. यू हैव टू कॉन्शियसली डिसाइड कि कंपनी के लिए अच्छा है. और अच्छा है इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि बस दिखाने के लिए कॉम्प्रोमाइज करेंगे. इट मीन्स मेंटली, इंटरनली भी कई बार वी थिंक दैट वी आर पॉजिटिवली डूइंग समथिंग विद समवन. बात अच्छे से तो कर रहे हैं और क्या चाहिए, हाउ वी टॉक. बट इंटरनली अगर ये टोन है या अंदर दिमाग में कुछ सोच और है, फीलिंग कुछ और है, तो वो अलाइन नहीं होता है. इसीलिए चेंज नहीं दिखता. बिकॉज इज नॉट अलाइंड. आपने बोला कुछ और, सोचा कुछ और, महसूस किया कुछ और, एंड देन यू आर थिंकिंग इट्स ऑल गुड बिकॉज यू सेड इट दैट वे. बट दिखावे से क्या होता है, अंदर जो है वो तो एनर्जी तो भूल नहीं करेगा. एनर्जी कांट बी फेक्ड एंड इम्पैक्ट इज एनर्जी. अगर किसी को ट्रस्ट फील होता है, सेफ्टी फील होता है, इमोशनली सेफ आपके आसपास फील होता है, इट्स बिकॉज ऑफ द एनर्जी दैट यू क्रिएटेड इनसाइड योरसेल्फ दैट प्रोटेक्ट्स एंड दैट मेक्स एवरीबडी एल्स फील प्रोटेक्टेड. But the moment you're toxic inside and you're showing I'm positive, I'm a positive life coach, I can do this, but अंदर अगर टॉक्सिसिटी है, अंदर डील करने का पावर नहीं है, तो बाहर कभी ना कभी तो वो नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट जाके छोड़ेगा. Because there's no abundance inside, there's no energy which is positive inside to attract more energy. और कभी कभी हम लोग सोचते हैं कि अरे हम इतना करते, सामने वाला क्यों नहीं करता, बट आप भी तो मुंह से कर रहे होंगे, वो ऊपर से आपके साथ ऐसा कर रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, समटाइम्स लेट्स से इफ आई एम बिहेविंग बैडली, द अदर पर्सन इज बिहेविंग नाइसली or badly, but I'm trying to at least speak better. At least speak better is not good enough. You need to actually convince yourself to make yourself think that you will want to do it better. And when you actually want to do it better, you start showing efforts which the other person will actually catch. But most of the time that doesn't happen. Because unlearning is the difficult part for the older generations who've been married for 20, 30 years. Those who are still in decade of marriage or 15 years, it's still not too late. Because trust me, we all deserve love. We all deserve care. We all deserve appreciation. We all deserve our love language to be spoken. We all deserve a safe environment. And you might ask, I've been married for so long, ab kya hope hai? If both of you make it work, it will work. But agar mujhse पूछे, so I would say it's the female. If as a female, you correct your energy inside, because see, mothers are nurturers. We don't just, mujhe to aisa lagta hai at least, we're not just nurturers of children or humans who are born. We're also nurturers of the entire human race at the end of the day. That's the power that I feel as a woman I have. And all of you have, if you're watching it. You need to believe in that power, not in the ego and the control state. कि मेरे पास power है तो हम control करेंगे, अपना मनमानी करेंगे. No. It means I have more responsibility than anybody else could think they have. Which is why I need to be more conscious. And conscious doesn't mean I'm nervous and awkward around people. It means I'm aware, I'm awakened inside to take the right decisions, to make the tough decisions. To do what's right for the human race at the end of the day. That's a very tough decision to make when you have societal checklists to meet. In spite of that, I would say meet all the societal checklists. Do everything that the world should do and that is popular and cool. Provided you are not getting toxicity inside of any form and you're not giving out toxicity in any form. If that is it, enjoy everything else. And that definition of toxicity is not fickle, mind you. So it is deep. So when you try to interpret the word fickle, please go deeper. When you're trying to interpret the word toxic, go deeper. So when we talk about, gender wise, this is something again, many people keep asking me that about the gender thing, कि tit for tat, equality, हम करें वो भी करें. ऐसा होने ही नहीं वाला. How can you expect biologically different people? I'm a bio student. I used to always think इसका हार्मोन ये है, इसका हार्मोन ये है. This is what this one does, this does. This is how the man is created, this is how a woman is created. Equality के नाम पे ही प्रॉब्लम आता है. इक्विटी कर सकते, कहीं पे कोई चीज में ये आगे, कहीं में कोई चीज में वो आगे. We have to accept our differences. पता है आज प्रॉब्लम क्या है सोसाइटी में, पूरे दुनिया में? हम लोग सोचते हैं यूनिटी के नाम पर डाइवर्सिटी को क्रश करो, और तब भी बोलो डाइवर्सिटी, बट फिर जाके वापस वही एक ठोक दो यूनिटी एंड इक्वालिटी का थप्पा, जो कि हो ही नहीं सकता. बिकॉज यू गोइंग टू क्रश पीपल, यू गोइंग टू क्रश सोल्स, यू गोइंग टू क्रश sanity, you're going to crush human race if you're going to do that. Differences are beautiful, whether it's a cultural difference, whether it is gender difference, whether it is intellectual differences, different personality types. It is beautiful. Don't crush it. We dread differences, but that's where you're going to not get bored. There are going to be challenges, but that is where you're going to grow if there is a challenge. And men, they have a different set of things. Women, they have a different set of things. As a result of it, हर चीज अलग होगी, सोसाइटल प्रॉब्लम्स अलग होंगे, आप दोनों को एक साथ डील नहीं, एक वे से डील नहीं कर सकते. और द टिपिकल माइंडसेट दैट वी वांट कि अरे औरत अब एम्पावरमेंट हो चुका है तो आप तो ये चेंज लाना ही होगा, ये रिफॉर्म लाना ही होगा. आप लॉ और पॉलिसी और रूल और पनिशमेंट डाल के आप लोगों की सोच सालों की नहीं बदल सकते. इट हैज टू बी सिस्टमैटिकली, स्ट्रेटेजिकली डन इन डेली लाइफ विथ कॉन्शियसनेस भर भर के. व्हेन यू आर डीलिंग विद पीपल, तब जाके वो माइंड शिफ्ट होगा टुवर्ड्स हाउ that change has to be, whether towards the gender approach, whether towards roles of gender, घर में किसका क्या रोल है. ये ऐसे ओवरनाइट सिर्फ बोलने से और एक अच्छा कंपटीशन में आदमी को खड़ा करके कुकिंग कराने से नहीं होगा. और विमेन को ऑफिस के सूट में बस एक जगह काम करने भेजने से और नेम से जॉब टाइटल देने से नहीं होता. You really need to be qualified in either sense of the word to deserve something. मतलब empowerment के नाम पे कोई कुछ भी धब्बा लगा दे and we feel okay this is empowerment. कितने बेवकूफ हो सकते हैं हम लोग इंसान के तौर से. इतना तो इंटेलेक्ट और मतलब इतना तो सेंसिबल इंसान हो सकता है, राइट? बट अगेन वी लाइक टू sugarcoat everything with the way we want and not want to see it beyond. Very, very sad, you know. But this is where, you know, we have to identify. I'm talking about problems at times, sometimes highlighting on solutions, sometimes highlighting on the perspective, because I don't see all this. People don't want to talk about all this anymore. They're like, जो चल रहे चलने दो ना, क्यों बेकार में डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा सब. We don't deserve that. Our children don't deserve that. और जब I think about climate change, I cannot tell you all. The more I think about climate change, I'm like, ये तो सब गंदगी जो pollution अंदर है वही बाहर निकल रहा है. The mess that we are in inside as human beings, it is so sad. That is the exact toxicity we are putting out into the world. अपने ही सोल को एक एक इंसान होकर हम लोग नहीं साफ रख सकते, पोल्यूशन से दूर नहीं रख सकते, टॉक्सिसिटी से इंटरनली हम बोल रहे हैं ये सब से दूर नहीं रख सकते. तो दुनिया इतना बड़ा है जिसमें इतने सारे लोग एक साथ हैं, उसको कैसे रखेंगे? Think about the other example. We are only हर जगह stamp दे रहे इंडिपेंडेंस का, and then climate change requires everybody's collective efforts. सिर्फ झाड़ू लेके और लेक्स में जाके और पॉन्ड्स में जाके कचरे निकालने से एक साथ वो कचरा साफ नहीं होता. That is only थोड़ा साफ हो रहा है. But deep down जो root cause problem है, अगर as humanity we are not solving that, बाहर का कचरा, बाहर की गंदगी, बाहर का करप्शन नहीं जाएगा. हम पॉलिटिशियंस को ब्लेम करते हैं पॉलिटिक्स के लिए. एक पॉलिटिशियन कोई कुछ गलत कर ले, कुछ बोल दे, उसका बस खत्म. किसको ब्लेम कर रहे हैं हम लोग? वो लोग तो बड़े लेवल पे कर रहे हैं वही चीज जो बाकी जो लोग उनके फॉलोअर्स हैं उन्हीं को. एनी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, फॉरगेट अबाउट विच पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, आई डोंट केयर. वर्ल्ड ओवर पीपल ब्लेम पॉलिटिक्स लाइक एनीथिंग, पीपल ब्लेम पॉलिटिशियंस लाइक एनीथिंग. मतलब एक पॉलिटिशियन का तो ठीक है, करप्शन वो लोग करते हैं, जो करते हैं उनको करने दो. But you can't fix that at that level when at the bottom level everybody is doing family politics every day, business politics every day, social politics every day. रस्ते रस्ते मोहल्ले मोहल्ले में एक बिल्डिंग से दूसरे बिल्डिंग का पॉलिटिक्स होता है, फ्लैट टू फ्लैट पॉलिटिक्स होता है. एक ही फैमिली में दो अलग बच्चे, दो अलग भाई, दो अलग बहन, दो अलग कितने सारे हस्बैंड वाइफ पॉलिटिक्स, डोंट इवन मेंशन दैट. बच्चे बेटे, बच्चे और माँ बाप में कितना लेवल का पॉलिटिक्स है. ये लेवल का पॉलिटिक्स हम लोग एक एक करके छोटे छोटे ग्रुप में नहीं सॉल्व कर सकते, तो बेचारे पॉलिटिशियंस बड़े लेवल पे उसको कैसे कभी सॉल्व करेंगे? Think about it. When we blame, when we do things, are we actually thinking about what we are doing at an individual and smaller levels? अगर उधर ही फिक्स हो जाएगा तो बड़े लेवल पे तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. और सबको ही वेट करते हैं सामने वाला करेगा तब हम करेंगे. Otherwise I'll not look cool. Coolness is not like following everybody else. That is being a fool. Cool is when you decide, you know, it's cooler on the top when there are lesser people, when there's more struggle. So I'll not follow the herd, I'll rise above it. That's where it'll be cool also, and I'll not feel hot that way also. But also cool in the sense it's going to make you stand out. Anything that comes easy is not going to be really revolutionary. We feel अरे मेरे को डर लगने लगा, मेरा मैरिज को क्या होगा, कुछ खराब हो जाएगा, अब तो कोई सोल्यूशन ही नहीं है. जितना हम डर से भागेंगे उतना you can't face reality, which is why we need to come face to face with ourselves first, then with people around us. हम लोग खुद ही को फेस नहीं कर पाते, खुद ही की हकीकत को नहीं एक्सेप्ट कर पाते. सालों साल बीत गए, ऐसा लगता है अरे मेरे लाइफ में ये मैंने कुछ अलग किया होता तो अच्छा होता. Many women feel that. Supposing I made different choices, that time I had no choice. Supposing things like that. जो हो गया वो हो गया, अब क्या करना है? Where are we going to focus on from now? We still have a choice. We still have life. As long as we are breathing, we can change the course of history. For ourselves, for the world. But the moment we think, अरे अब तो ending आ रहा है, तो फिर आप बाकी चीज में तो एनर्जी डाल के मजाक कर ही सकते हैं, तो इसमें क्यों नहीं कर सकते? Where you feel कि at least effort डाल के मैंने अपना ending देखा. So when you think you want the other person no matter what, पूरा दिन एक ही इंसान और एक ही चीज के पीछे बैठ जाना है और कुछ नहीं करने का मन करता, that is also a trauma. And when you think that okay, I don't need anybody, I can just do it myself. That is also a trauma, because it's unhealthy, it's extreme. Extremism is dangerous. हम लोग तो बोलते हैं extremism is dangerous, so ये भी extremism dangerous है. We can't let it crush us. We have to come at a balance point where we have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and let other people also feel vulnerable around us. एक साथ पूरा भंडार treasure नहीं खोल देना है अपना. Because if you're not comfortable opening up to people, you'll never know how to do it. So one action step is, if you've never been able to sit down with your spouse and talk comfortably, I would suggest make one effort. Kai baar, when I deal with, the generations where people have had 25-30 years of marriage, divorce cases हो या otherwise, थोड़ी देर के लिए पेशेंस रखते हैं, ऐसा लगता है अभी अभी छूट जाएगा, अभी पेशेंस छूट जाएगा, ब्लास्ट. I mean, literally, छोड़ो छोड़ो, हमसे नहीं होगा ये. And then that is the same generation which, if they have children and they are getting married or they are married, they'll say बेटा adjust करना सीखो, सीखो सीखो. तो सीखना तो हर एज में पड़ता है. If you want to get into a relationship and you want to have a healthy marriage, which should be a healthy goal, having a good marriage, having a successful marriage, having a less toxic marriage and a relationship with your husband, with your wife, is not a bad goal to have. It is a life goal you should have. It should be a personal goal you should have. Why are we running away from something as beautiful as marriage simply because we dread what's happening to the world outside? I know it's a very difficult thing, but if you are self-invested, if you understand yourself, the more you know yourself, the easier it is to understand others. And as I said, it can't be done alone. You can't simply rely on a love marriage or a arranged marriage to give you true love in life. You have to rely on God to give you the godly marriage, which is a combination of the two. Because only then God will know which way to send, what to send you, how to go about it. Especially if you're breaking generational curses, especially if you're wanting to be the game changer for generations. This is going to be the most difficult thing you're going to do. Because it's going to require you to challenge your own beliefs. It is going to require you to start thinking of, all the things very differently from how the world is bombarding. Every day you see all these celebrities looking so cute and, like cuddly and all that. And then you feel, oh, kash, mera bhi marriage aisa hota. Everyday marriage is not like that. There is, I think about this quote, from Bridgerton, where the two of them, Daphne and Simon, when they go to the Queen and when they talk about it, it's so wonderful how they talk about friendship. At the end of the day, here it brings me to the point where many parents ask this, that my children are very young, I'm very scared that they'll get into a very intimate relationship and cross boundaries and get hurt later on, or family reputation gets damaged. People tell me, I have trust of people by God's grace, which is why I know all this, and I keep it confidential, but at least I bring out the issues in general across all the work I do. Because if people who are aware don't talk about it, very sadly everybody just likes to make everything a comedy and joke around like a joker and make people laugh on it, but nothing really substantial comes out of it. So which is why I feel responsible to share what I know and what I see and what I work on almost daily. I think about these things because I deal with real people of all kinds across stratas of society, and now we're also getting into rural India very soon. So I'm very excited to learn about people and their sufferings and their struggles and what excites them, what motivates them, because I know at the end, the greatest achievement in a person's life is not the awards and the medals that you keep, which will get rusted and will die. And when you die, it's gone. You can't take it with you. But what's going to survive is how you brought transformation in the way the people think, how they operate, how they live, and the hope they find through you, which will not only change their life, but the lives of the other people around them in the present, in the future, and that is a ripple effect which never stops. So whenever people tell me, why don't you apply for this award and this medal and this award and this and that, I said I don't have the time. Because honestly, when I'll have the time, I will someday sit down and do it, which I don't know when that will be. I prefer being with people in real situations, real stuff, and making things happen, because that is where, real growth lies. That is bigger achievement than an award or a trophy lying somewhere. It feels good, definitely, when you're awarded, appreciated at a big level. But if I have to choose, and because of the work I do, because of the opportunities I get, because of the trust I have of people, I don't feel like wasting my time in doing those things. I prefer investing in real people which I know will bring a change and change the course of history if I am able to invest rightly so. I get it wrong at times as a leader. I also get upset. I also get angry. But I at least try to apologize and be the first one to do so. To accept my own shortcomings in that point and, be vulnerable. That this is why, this is how it is. And I want to fix it. So, this is important, when it comes to a relationship as well. That it's not like, sometimes I'll give you an example how people feel. They feel that, okay, my husband goes out all the day, he gets all the appreciation in the world, I don't get it. So, in the house, if something goes wrong, I should get the attention, I should get the focus, everything should be about me, because usko to mil jata hai na udhar, aapka to sunne wala itna log hai, mera to koi nahi hai. That's unfair. For whatever situation such a circumstances has risen where you can't do the same thing that your husband is doing, for whatever reason, you need to find a way to navigate through that more peacefully than this sort of a conclusion. It's a trauma response. It's a response which is very toxic to yourself and to others. Forget about what it'll do to others. It'll damage you if you're thinking like this. So that's another thing to ponder over. And many times, we need to understand as adults how we deal with our husband, how the husband deals with us. If your husband, you're watching this, how you deal with your wife. Your child will understand gender dynamics and relationships, how they perceive their own parents. If they have seen parents having an unhealthy marriage, no matter how much deeply they desire something else, they'll end up with that. Very few people are able to overcome those wounds and traumas and fix it for the next generation to not take it with them. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम लोग बात ही नहीं करेंगे कि बच्चे को दिखे ही नहीं कि झगड़ा हो रहा है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि नहीं हम हमेशा कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रहे हैं, हम अभी भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज ही करेंगे. बच्चे नहीं हो, काउंसलिंग लीजिए, हेल्प लीजिए. और काउंसलिंग और हेल्प का मतलब नहीं है सीधा डिवोर्सिंग में पहुंच जाएगा सब. We need to understand family, marriage very seriously, because we are in a human crisis. It's like climate change or corona and ये जो बाकी सब दिखता है, corruption, politics, जो भी, is like external of what is internally there. मेरे को तो ये सब बाहर कुछ बॉदर इसीलिए नहीं करता, बिकॉज आई नो कि इंटरनली जो प्रॉब्लम्स है वही नहीं डील हो रहा है. इसीलिए वी कांट कंट्रोल आवरसेल्व्स व्हेन वी डील विद द एनवायरनमेंट आउटसाइड, व्हिच इज व्हाई वी क्रिएट टॉक्सिसिटी आउटसाइड, बिकॉज इंटरनली भर के है. तो अंदर कंट्रोल नहीं होता तो बाहर करो गंदा. अंदर गंदगी बाहर गंदगी, हाउ आर वी गोइंग टू मूव अहेड? कितना फेकनेस में जिएंगे. और मुझे सबसे दुख इस बात का होता है कि वी क्रिएट जनरेशंस ऑफ ट्रॉमास आफ्टर एंड आफ्टर एंड आफ्टर. कोई तोड़ता नहीं है ये ट्रॉमा को. शॉर्टकट इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि ट्रॉमा से हीलिंग, क्योंकि आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू मैरी बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट अ ट्रॉमा, आई डोंट वांट बैगेज. इफ यू लव challenges, if you're empowered, take it. No matter how many years of marriage are done, you still can choose to live in a healthy and happy relationship. And if you're a woman listening to this, let me tell you, the first step towards creating a safe relationship, a healthy relationship with your spouse, with your husband, is to be internally calm. Things, the way society has raised us, how the world perceives a woman. आप जितना भी empowerment बोल लो, जितना भी सोच लो, दिल में एक डर तो हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ चीज का रहेगा of not being enough. कुछ ना कुछ अंदर बॉदर करेगा. बट सबसे पहले अंदर खुद को calm down करना है. When you deal with people, sometimes this happens. I don't respond to calls, messages or things like that. If people are around me, I'll just smile and be silent. Because at that point, something, if it's bothering me, काम हो या कुछ भी हो, I know if I say something, it'll have a very negative effect. So I'd rather make myself look a little cold but nod and say okay, okay, instead of harming people like that. Fir, I come to my sanity point. You know that, okay, this has happened. What do you want to do next? I don't know the answers most of the time. I sit down, I pray to God. I'm like, God, very honestly, I'm a very, very vulnerable human because I'm a human. Today, if somebody does marketing and ad in a certain way, I'll go in that direction. If somebody says something in a different way, I'll go in that direction. I don't know what is right. What should I do? Who should I trust? How should I go about doing this? Because there are so many risks. It is then I realize that when I'm humbly bowing myself down to a higher authority, that vulnerability is making me strong enough to be vulnerable as a leader in front of people, in relationships, in dealing with the way I talk to my parents, in the way I talk to my siblings, in the way I talk to my friends, in the way I talk to my team members, the way I talk to my colleagues, the way I talk to my students. Many times people say, you don't look like a teacher. The way you're talking to kids, you're like, they can tell you anything. But I want to create that safe environment. I don't want to create a toxic and rigid environment where I am the teacher, listen to me. Even when I'm with my team, they call me ma'am, or they might call me Di, or they might call me something. But I want to be that person where they don't feel that they're in front of a very super authority and they have to be a certain way and not themselves. I'm totally against that belief and idea. Because I realize that unless we do it at our personal and professional levels at a smaller scale, we can't make that happen in a relationship, in a marriage, in motherhood, in being a daughter-in-law, being a daughter. It'll not work anywhere if you can't do it at the smallest level. And when I'm able to do it, I know I'm leading by example. It'll help more people copy that. So this is how powerful it gets. Women are nurturers. Remember, not just the nurturers of children and the children they give birth to, but the whole of human race, the whole of the earth, the whole of the universe you can change with your energy. Trust me when I'm saying this. Because इतना power है ये अंदर, एक अंदर फीमेल के अंदर, that nurturing power is so strong कि अगर उसका एनर्जी हम सही से कंट्रोल कर लें और उसको डिस्ट्रक्टिव ना बनने दें, उसको कंट्रोलिंग ना बनने दें. Controlling मतलब दूसरे पे. अक्सर when we lose control of ourselves in our lives, we like to control our children, we like to control our husbands, we like to control people around the way we want it, which is not correct. You can suggest, you can give ideas about how something is good for somebody, but it's not fair when we expect कि वो सब मतलब हम जैसा exactly चाहे वैसे ही हो. That is wrong. That is then dictatorship literally. और पेट्रियार्की भी हो सकता है, मेट्रियार्की भी हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है. दोनों ही एक्सट्रीम और गलत है. तो एक के पीछे पड़ जाने से नहीं होता. And as men, if you're watching this, you need to understand that your soul, even if others don't honor it, whether it's the female race of the females in the world or the society in general doesn't talk about you and the importance of your soul, you need to honor it because God created you. God made you. So as a man, you need to preserve yourself for God, not for a woman, not for another person. Because just like a mother has the nurturing power, the father has the power to provide and protect, not just financially, in many other ways. You'll be surprised as a man when you open up to that, to God. You will be able to provide and protect in more ways than you imagined, and then your females, your children, everyone will feel that you are there for them in more ways than you are actually thinking you could be. Any of it doesn't make sense, please comment or ask, because I wouldn't know otherwise that what is exactly the problem. So that is one. Next is when we are talking about the next issue, which is I told about in-laws things. Yeah, 29 questions here. Yeah, choose your battles wisely. Many a times we pick all battles at once. We think ये भी solve हो जाएगा, ये भी solve हो जाएगा, ये भी solve हो जाएगा, सबको एक साथ solve करेंगे. कुछ भी solve नहीं होगा. Nothing will get solved. It'll only get worse. Because what is important to understand here is कि Oh my god, this is so nice. So many people are liking and following. This is good. I think everybody was waiting for this topic. So, so glad that, it's clicking with everyone and everybody is trying to get something out of here. So, yeah, I was talking about choosing battles wisely. We feel, okay, इतना साल शादी का हो गया, अब तो ये वाला भी सॉल्व करना, ये वाला सॉल्व करना, तो कुछ सॉल्व नहीं होगा. इतना सारा एक साथ वी टेक टुगेदर दैट वी कांट सॉल्व इवन वन थिंग. एक साथ हस्बैंड को इसके लिए भी डांटो, उसके लिए भी डांटो, वाइफ को इससे भी रोको, उससे भी रोको, इससे भी टोको, उसको भी टोको, नहीं होता. टेक अप वन थिंग एट अ टाइम, सी हाउ दैट गोज. wherever you get stuck, अगर vulnerability प्रैक्टिस करने का आदत नहीं है, आप अगर आदमी हैं या अगर आप औरत हैं, जो भी हैं, आपका अगर आदत नहीं है, आप टेस्ट करिए ना, करके तो देखिए. सामने वाला अगर भड़केगा, आप अप्रोच चेंज करिए. बिजनेस होता तो कैसे भी सेल करते ना. You would do business, you would not allow that thing to be lying there. Take it up as a challenge. Why are we so scared of using our innovative mindset for relationships? Why are we only thinking कि वो सिर्फ workplace में काम आता है? It's not like that. Then compare. Oh my god, the word compare. When I was small, I remember biology में मुझे खास याद रहता था. I lost marks in some time because I only wrote compare में differences. Similarity, differences both have to be written. So when we say कि आप मुझे उससे compare कर रहे हैं, तुम मुझे उससे compare कर रही हो, like that, we need to understand that अभी भी word compare is very sensitive. So जब हम लोग use करते हैं एक marriage में, it's very important to not let it go to any extreme. क्योंकि कई बार commonly used words, even if you know language and you are intellectual and what not, साइकोलॉजिकली एक इवन समझदार इंसान को मोमेंट के लिए अगर या मूड खराब है या कुछ उतना थॉट नहीं है, दे विल टेक इट रॉन्ग. विच इज वाई यू हैव टू बी वेरी कॉन्शियस ऑफ हाउ यू यूज लैंग्वेज. लगेगा कि आइडियल वर्ड, ग्रामेटिकली वर्ड करेक्ट ये है, बट एक्चुअली उस टाइम पे उस चीज को भड़का देगा पूरा सिचुएशन को. यू कांट यूज दैट वर्ड. You have to use a better word which is more gentle, which is more polite. It's not called diplomacy, it's called being caring and empathy and sensitivity towards different cultures and diversity. And when people say, okay, language is this and language is that, I'm like, don't even tell me what is language, because the way I have realized language works is something else altogether. Across stratas of society, how you use the same word in different setups, how you use it in leadership, how you use it versus in your daily life with different kinds of people in different situations and relationships. Baba, I'm so surprised how much language is powerful to be able to do all that. And we think अच्छा grammar सीख लो, अच्छा sentences लिखना सीख लो, बस है. That sensitivity and the intelligence to use how and when and why is equally important, because that is where professional personal success in the long term lies and makes your even academic essays more interesting. I got to understand all this in the last 2-3 years, specifically lockdown period, because I'm like, I'm observing everybody. I'm becoming more of a listener. Everybody who's speaking, I want to listen to people more. And then when I'm talking or delivering a speech or something, I feel very nice because I have so much data inside of me to give clarity to. I could be wrong about so many things, but I'm still talking from experience, either of having gone through things myself or helping people successfully navigate through problems, or being there and giving suggestions and testing out things for people, because every solution is not the same. And then what do you do? So again, I'm going back to that age group when we are talking about people who want to get married or are thinking of getting married. How do you prepare? There is a preparation required. Imagine अच्छे job के लिए, अच्छा qualification, अच्छा career के लिए, profession के लिए, we do so much preparation. रात रात जाग के सब अच्छा इंस्टीट्यूट डाल में जाके अच्छे से पैसा खर्च करके वी गेट आवरसेल्व्स रेडी फॉर अ गुड करियर. पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप अगर अच्छा होता है तो फिर तो करियर तो कितना 10x रिटर्न देगा, बिकॉज देयर इज सुकून इनसाइड. ये सुकून पे हम नहीं काम करते जिससे 10x रिटर्न बिजनेस में मिलेगा. वी वर्क ऑन रिवर्स, उस पर डबल काम करेंगे, रिलेशनशिप को जो हो देखा जाएगा. Very sad. We need to prepare. How do you prepare? Of course, you can take professional courses which talk about healing, intergenerational healing. And सिर्फ वो spiritual aspect नहीं, even practical, psychological, logical aspects of relationships and marriage. Second, also looking at preparation from the point of view of whatever you want in life, you need to be that person. I'll give you an example. The way marriages work these days, I am successful, I have these checklists, I have to get this type of a checklist of a person. Across stratas of society, across countries, across everywhere, most places. जितना भी कोई उसको बाहरी तौर से अलग प्रकट करने मांगे कि भाई ऐसा नहीं है, ऐसा ही है, वो झूठा बात है. Deep down, if you can't accept who you are, you will not attract who you really want in life and who you need in life. You'll end up attracting wrong people and only wasting your time, energy and emotions. The moment you start realizing who you are as a person, और जो भी प्रोफेशनल हो वो भी साथ कंसिडर करना है, but as a person, what is your personality? Sometimes I feel in a marriage multiple intelligence का भी कोर्स देना चाहिए कि जब बच्चा था हस्बैंड या वाइफ जब बच्ची थी, उनका मल्टीपल इंटेलिजेंस क्या था. यूज दैट टू bring more energy into your marriage. Some people were very good with textures, loved nature. Some people were very good with, kinesthetic intelligence. Some people were very good with, let's say, language maybe. सबका अलग अलग multiple intelligence का skill होता है. And if we understand that, how they were as children and then when they grew up, they became as teenagers, यूथ, अडल्ट, ये सब फेजेस में उनका जर्नी, एक दूसरे का जर्नी समझना बहुत जरूरी है. एंड दिस इज समथिंग यू कैन ओनली डू प्रॉपरली इफ यू आर फ्रेंड्स, नॉट जस्ट शुरू से रोमांटिक पार्टनर्स. अरे पहला किस कब होगा और पहला हक कब होगा एंड पहला ये कब होगा वो कब होगा. द जनरेशन टुडे इज ऑब्सेस्ड विथ फिजिकल अट्रैक्शन एंड लव. दैट इज इंटीग्रल, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, बट वी आर ऑल्सो मॉकिंग एंड मेक फन ऑफ समथिंग so pure and so important. The reason today people do not have a good healthy marriages is because they only look for physical desire, and that also is very so superficial, even if you are doing it with your own spouse. जितना spiritual mental connection, जितना self investment अंदर होगा, उतना every part of your marriage including the intimacy is going to be more spiritual in nature. It's going to give you more returns in your spiritual growth. And that will reflect in your professional growth also. I was telling about Mind Valley. I don't know if I've ever shared this on Facebook Lives. Mind Valley के couple है, do check them out. I don't remember their names. Life book करके उन्होंने कुछ लिखा है. I attended one of the master classes and I was surprised that the level to which they described कि अलग-अलग area of life में, and especially in a marriage when you are invested in the way you build your relationship with your spouse, it has an effect on the way you do business, your work, your life, the way you raise children, the way you deal with people, the way you contribute to positive change in the world in every area of life. But sadly the problem is we just treat marriage as a checklist. एज हो गया शादी कर लो, ऐसा लड़का मिल गया, ऐसी लड़की मिल गई, शादी कर लो. That's it. People don't even know who they are. And when it comes to exploration, दो extreme generation का दो extreme डर होता है. One generation feels ये लोग young है, ये लोग सीधा dating बेटिंग और सबसे ट्रैक पे ऑफ ट्रैक चले जाएंगे, इन लोग को क्या समझ आएगा शादी में, इससे अच्छा let us intervene and do it in our way. On the other hand, younger generations feel इन लोग का तो इतने बड़े हो गए अभी तक कोई, I don't want a marriage like this where there is no romance and there is no love and there is no support and emotional connection. I will not listen to them. I will just do what is easy. दोनों extremes गलत है. I think one of the best ways to understand gender is and understand marriage is to have good friends of the opposite sex. To have good friends who you can rely on from the opposite gender. The more you are able to understand that properly, you will be able to make a proper decision when it comes to marriage, and then you will not have to resort to just physical touch and being in a physical relationship to understand people. We see these movies, we see the entertainment, and we are like, oh, जब लड़का लड़की साथ दुपट्टा उड़ेगा, ये होगा, वो होगा, ये romance spark करेगा, and then we'll end up doing this. We'll end up, having like a clash and then chemistry bloom karega and then we are in love and then it's going to be a beautiful marriage. ऐसे नहीं होता. It's all fantasy. क्योंकि कई marriages ऐसे जो start हुई, they broke because there was nothing concrete and foundation strong नहीं था to build on something. On the other hand, today's generation, to be very honest, on one hand scared of marriage. वो लोग नहीं करना चाहते because they don't want disasters in their life. They're scared of it. On the other hand, there are also young people who want to make a good decision of marriage because they want healing to happen through them. They want to do it right. They want to have a good, strong relationship with their spouse. They want a strong marriage. So they will not end up with just anything and everything and say, okay, checklist ho gaya, complete, I'm married. There has to be more, and that is why I'm saying, boys and girls, when you are, growing up, keep your parents' trust, but also remember that the only way to get God to give you the right person in your life will only happen when you honor God in the first place. Second, investment in yourself. And third, having good, strong friendships. Because we hardly, see, marriage may every day is not going to be a romance. Not every day you're going to feel romantic and, love for the other person. That love has different expressions. There has to be different ways of expressing your gratitude, and companionship has to evolve. And friendship is the best way. कुछ इंटरेस्ट कॉमन हो, कुछ इंटरेस्ट कॉमन नहीं. आजकल क्या होता है, हमको तो ये देखना अच्छा नहीं लगता, आप वो करने जाइए, हम वो करने जाते हैं. दैट इज नॉट लव देन. कभी कभी अलग अलग चीज करना ठीक है, बट कभी कभी एक दूसरे का चीज करना भी सही है. यू लाइक दिस, ओके, आई विल आल्सो ट्राई इट आउट. जेंडर रोल्स इज बिकॉज सेट हो गए. औरतें इस चीज में अच्छी, औरत आदमी उस चीज में अच्छे. औरतों को स्पोर्ट्स नहीं पसंद, आदमी को ये पसंद, ऐसा ऐसा ये सब बहुत सारा हमने डिवाइड एंड रूल कर दिया हर जगह. And that's where it's proving detrimental. So what is important here is we need to realize that perspective clear करना है हर चीज का, whatever we are dealing with. And let us stop treating, the marriage part and the intimacy part as something that's just एक porn देख लिया और super gratification मिल गया, या एक कुछ भी किसी का dirty picture देख लिया, किसी movie में देख लिया, किसी के साथ कुछ भी कर लिया, so I'll feel physically happy, at least, my needs are met, but I don't think I can get married. That's dishonoring yourself. That's making a fool of yourself and not letting your soul be honored with something more pure and more perfect and more better. And talking about these things when you are seriously thinking of marriage is also not something wrong, provided it's done mindfully and both parties are aware of these things. Many times people don't talk about these things, and years later about marriage, and they're like, but this was something I already knew, but I didn't talk about it. And now we don't have a life at all. We can't even be close to each other. Heart breaks when I hear things like this. What damage we are doing to our own selves. And all it requires is effort inside in the inner world and see changes in the outer world, which is more difficult. We put so much effort in the outer world that we forget to put effort in the inner world. And that is why we suffer. So, coming towards closure, I think everybody is happy and enjoying, but I also need to conclude. Yeah, talking a little bit about chemistry, since we brought this up, I had this thing in mind. I was a pure science student. So, 10th तक भी साइंस था, 11 12 में भी साइंस था, कॉलेज में भी बॉटनी, केमिस्ट्री और जूलॉजी था. सो केमिस्ट्री पढ़ते पढ़ते मुझे एक चीज़ का एहसास हुआ. आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग, कि जब हम लोग बोलते हैं ग्रेट केमिस्ट्री, हाउ डज अ पर्सन हैव अ ग्रेट केमिस्ट्री. ग्रेट केमिस्ट्री अगर हम मेजर और माइंडफुल होके करेंगे तभी ग्रेट केमिस्ट्री होता है. कैसे? आई टेल यू. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट केमिस्ट्री लैब, अक्सर क्या करते हैं लोग, एक आइडिया आ जाता है कि इतना डालेंगे, इस मार्क पे इतना कलर चेंज होगा, इतना कलर चेंज होगा, तो ये मेरा एक्सपेरिमेंट काफी है, हमको ये वैल्यू रफली मिलने चाहिए, फ्रेंड से ले लेंगे, उससे ले लेंगे, उससे ले लेंगे. रिलेशनशिप में भी लोग यही करने लगे हैं. पीपल थिंक ओके, इसका देख ले, उसका ले, ऐसा पोस्ट कर देंगे, ऐसा डाल देंगे, तो वी विल फील वी आर हैविंग अ केमिस्ट्री, बट मे बी ना हो. रियल केमिस्ट्री हैपन्स व्हेन यू कैन मेजर करेक्टली कितना क्वांटिटी का केमिकल लेना है, माइंडफुल होके करना है, स्ट्रेटेजाइज होके करना है कि कौन से मोमेंट पे इसको डालना है, कि तब एग्जैक्टली कलर चेंज दिखा और एक्सप्लोड नहीं हो जाए, वरना तो पूरा लैब जल जाएगा, हाथ बॉडी सब कुछ जल जाएगा, बिकॉज केमिकल गिरा तो. सो सेम वे व्हेन वी सीक अ गुड केमिस्ट्री इन अ मैरिज, केमिस्ट्री लैब में जो सेंसिटिविटी और केयरफुल होना जरूरी है, स्किल्स होना जरूरी है, वो तो उसमें भी नहीं होता. बट people don't do that in the chemistry lab either. But I'm just saying कि अगर वो बात हम समझ लें कि great chemistry requires measuring and mindfully navigating through things. इग्नोर भी नहीं करना है और एक्सट्रीम में भी नहीं जाना है. जब लगे एक्सट्रीम हो रहा है, एटलीस्ट हैव दैट ओपननेस टू से अरे ज्यादा गिर गया, अपोलोजाइज, अरे ज्यादा गिर गया. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड देन तभी रिजल्ट दिखेगा, तभी सही केमिस्ट्री का रिजल्ट दिखेगा, ऑब्जर्वेशन दिखेगा. I know I'm punning a lot with chemistry, but what to do? Maybe that's how God just wanted me to know about science and chemistry and to use it into this context. I'm surprised, अभी जाके समझ आता है कि why did I study these subjects और इसका practical application अब कहाँ कहाँ दिख रहा है. फिर many times people say कि छोटा छोटा बात में क्या रखा है, in a relationship, in a marriage, छोटा छोटा बात में ठीक है, कुछ बड़ा करके तो दिखाया, हमेशा ये तो करते ही रहते हैं. But how you do that छोटा छोटा चीज is also very important to understand. I'll give you an example. जब केमिस्ट्री का मुझे याद है, बीकर तो नहीं था, आई थिंक ग्लास का छोटा छोटा कंटेनर्स था, इन विच 4-5 चीज वाइट रहता था, वाइट पाउडर. किसी का थोड़ा टेक्सचर कभी अलग रहता था, किसी का तीनों कलर और टेक्सचर सब सेम था. बट अगर कोई केमिकल डालेंगे तो एक चीज रिएक्ट करेगा, दूसरा रिएक्ट नहीं करेगा, बट बोथ आर वाइट. माइंड यू, दोनों ट्रांसपेरेंट लिक्विड दिखता है, लेकिन दोनों का प्रॉपर्टीज अलग है, दोनों का रिएक्शंस अलग है. So if you want to have a great marriage, a great relationship, a great chemistry, it requires to understand वो छोटा छोटा differences also, how the other person operates and how you operate and how you want it and how you deal with things and how the other person deals with things. जितना minutely you will understand and operate, the easier it will get to understand कि इसका ये reaction, उसका वो reaction. It's not a bad thing. Imagine doing a PhD on the person that God chose for you and then you want to end up, getting good at it. That's the best PhD you can have, because that's the only PhD जो पीछे किताब में और पेपर में पढ़ने में पढ़ा नहीं रहेगा और जिसका कोई काम नहीं होगा. This is a PhD if you do on your own spouse. That is the PhD which is going to last you long. It's going to be something that you are going to use for generations. And generations who are watching you do that are going to take inspiration to pass on to their generations. So ऐसा PhD तो काम का PhD है. I think that's why I stopped after bachelor's and I said I don't want to do masters. No, but I really wanted to do masters. It's just that I didn't want to do it on the typical subjects. I was like, जब टाइम होगा I'll figure out करना है कि नहीं करना है और किस में करना है. So I'm like, हाँ, और PhD तो करना ही है, which I have already shared. I mean, that's one goal you should have. PhD on your own spouse. And the spouse that God chooses for you, not the one that you think is best for you. Because many times, humanly, as I said, we have checklists, society has checklists, family has checklists, aisa. But don't bow to anything. Pray to God to guide you, to guide family, to guide everyone towards what God has for you in His life, in your life. Because only then you will come close to achieving the PhD which is going to give results. And which you will feel कि आप पे भी किसी ने फिर PhD किया है, because God will bring people together, not world, not you bringing things together. So be open up your heart to God, not to people. And when you open it up to God, God will guide your heart to open up to the right people who it is needed to be opened up to. And if you're married already for years, you will think ये सब मेरे लिए कैसे लागू है. अरे है, God के लिए कुछ भी impossible नहीं है. But कदम हम लेके तो देखें. And as I said, females are very powerful. We don't need all this empowerment stuff happening. Because internally अगर हमने अपनी एनर्जी को सही चैनलाइज किया ना, तो कोई भी चीज we can change. Next generation, even men, the thing with men is that, you take one right step towards a relationship with a man. He will take 10 right steps, 5 right steps, 3 right steps. He will do more than you will do. Because that's how innately men are made. They will want to go above and beyond to prove themselves, which is good in a way. That's what women want. But then women don't let that happen, and that's why they then regret कि मेरे लिए तो कोई कुछ नहीं करता. But that step that you take, that one step or few steps that you take, can't be just any random steps that you feel like is the right step. It has to be the one which is like the chemistry lab where you observe the minute details, minute observations, and you realize, isme karne se, I think this is important to him. When you pick those things which are important to him and you do it correctly, you do it with the right intentions, God will also help. And then you see, even after years of marriage, if things were not right also, the man will start taking the other way, which is the right way towards you. But your energy then has to be very pure. It always works better when both have pure energy and both are having the same alignment. It just makes things more smoother. But that is mostly the case when two things. I have normally seen that if a person, even after years of marriage, if both are at least trying hard in both ways, दोनों का energy vibrate करके higher एक level पे आता है, then it's easier to resolve issues. But otherwise, if it's one side, is very difficult. But it has to be led from a very, very, very pure point. Then one energy has to be very strong, positively and purely. Then that other energy can be influenced and brought to the other side correctly in the right way, without being manipulated. That also people do manipulation in all these things also. But what to say? But then yes, and then at the end of the day, if it's before marriage, before you're married, that is the best phase to work. Because the more you invest in yourself, the more clearer your energy is, the more higher you vibrate and get clear on what your life goals are and what you want to do in your life and how you want to influence the world. Big way, small way, family and personal and professional, in every way. You will actually start surprisingly and praying to God. You can't eliminate God from this. Whether you're married or unmarried, you can't eliminate God. If you want something which doesn't exist in the world, you have to believe and pray to the one who's made everything else exist. Because only then, you have control over things that others can't see. And do things that others can't do. Because he's controlling it at the end of the day. He's helping you do it because he's on top of it all in your life. So to conclude, you can't copy numbers and observations and copy chemistry and vibes and energy. And fake it and say, okay, मेकअप में फेक करके तो लोग खूबसूरत लग जाते हैं, अच्छे पिक्चर आ जाते हैं. बट सोल का मैटर, इंटरनल वर्ल्ड के मैटर में देयर इज नो कॉपी पेस्ट. It has to be aligned. You have to force yourself and slowly get with the flow of things rather than forcing things to happen. Only then can you witness real change happening in the outer world. And you need to make a conscious effort to understand the properties of things. Chemistry में अगर आपको chemicals किस चीज से बना है, उसका कितना power है, वो कितना reactive हो सकता है, ये सब नहीं पता होगा तो आप explode करिएगा हर चीज को अंदर बाहर. So it is important, and last point here is कि when it comes to love, having love in your heart, having love for your spouse, for your relationship, it's not a matter of the heart alone. Feelings के भरोसे कुछ नहीं होता. And I'll tell you why. Emotions ऐसा चीज है, एक मोमेंट पे उभर के आएगा, बोलेगा अरे इसके बिना तो ये भी नहीं होता, मेरे साथ ऐसा किया, बस फीलिंग्स ही अंदर भड़काएगा, कोई आपको प्रोवोक करेगा. लॉजिक से ज्यादा फीलिंग्स ही इधर उधर होता रहता है. It'll change for different people. और इसीलिए it's easier to get into an extramarital affair because you're only banking on feelings and not your mind. So at the end of the day, when it comes to marriage, it is feelings management, मतलब heart management बोल दीजिए. It has to be mind management. It has to be soul management. Strategically, you have to focus on, how to be innovative in loving your spouse, how to be innovative in expressing. कई phases होते हैं कई बार लाइफ में आदमी या औरत के, जब when they don't feel like doing certain things and certain things are difficult for them. At that point, how you still choose to love, how you still want to make an effort, how you still want to stay committed and loyal is a choice that you make. And this choice becomes easier when you rely on God to fix things for you, when you rely on God to heal yourself, when you rely on God to bring the right people into your life and to guide you towards being the right person for the person He chooses for you or that He's already chosen for you. It's never too late. So on that note, I would like to conclude. If there are questions, please ask. I would love to answer, because I've really seen, I'm very happy that everyone is, giving me such a positive response to this live. But I hope it's benefited you. May God heal all the marriages that are in turbulence right now or having very stormy days. May God help all those who are seeking a companion or desiring marriage to have the right approach towards it. And I pray that you get the help, that you reach out to God to give you the help, to give you the guidance to make the right choices in your life. If you're married and you're unhappy about whatever situations are there in your life, I pray God grants you the courage to accept whatever the reality is, and to give you the courage to change yourself and to lead that change by being the change. And may God put love in the hearts of all the people who are married, love for God, so that they make the right decisions towards their spouses, to their children. May God put love into the hearts of all our hearts to treat other people correctly, whether they are husband, whether they are wife. And may God give us the courage not to get carried away by all these silly jokes and trauma and trauma creating, things that we watch and read and just have a good laugh about, but then neglect and ignore the more important things that we should be focusing on. Amen. Thank you so much for watching this live.